I'll open up a secret to you. The sequence is sell faster, sell authentic, sell better. I have kept this sequence because this is what people like to hear. The reality is,
how can you, Rohit, truly help a developer to generate money through your buildings?
so we have created a framework called Profit Framework, which we have broken to pro.fit. Profit, if followed in the right manner, can generate huge amount of revenue.
Rohit, you mentioned about an award-winning project. Just dive us in that.
This project I told you was not approved by the administrative department. He just challenged me at that time. He said, if you can get 6 apartments, all of them late facing, the project is done. Finally, the matter delayed and kept moving on, and then it went to court. I have a friend in the city who started with a budget to make a factory, and his entire budget fell through only in the foundation.
वेलकम टू द बिल्ड लेगेसी शो, जहां होती है रियल बात रियल बंदों के साथ, पावर्ड बाय डी आर्क बिल्ड. Today we have a very special guest, architect Rohit Nagia, co-founder of Metricchants Design Attributes Private Limited, an award-winning sustainable design studio known for its philosophy of Greenacular luxury. Rohit is an author of Money Generating Buildings 2.0, a revolutionary framework that helps developers not just to build better, but to sell it faster and even with much more authenticity. Their work bridges the gap between architecture, interior design, sustainability, and profitability, transforming how developers think about design and trust. Thank you so much, Rohit sir, for being here and for joining on this podcast today. I'm super excited because if you are a developer, I am very confident that you are going to get a lot of nuggets, a lot of his wisdom of years and years, what he has spent practicing and working with top real estate developers. And for sure, do watch till the end because there's going to be a lot of new insights for you. So if you have not subscribed to the channel, do subscribe, do share, and do comment about on what topics do you want us to create more podcast on. Yes, so welcome Rohit sir for being here on this podcast. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Uncle. Thank you so much.
I would first like to start with what is Money Generating Building 2.0? How did you land to this? What has been your story? Over to you now.
So my story started like all other architects. And once you do a project, at the end the client always says, yaar, paise bahut lag gaye. Right? And we used to always wonder. So me with my wife Apeksha, she heads the interior design department. I do the architectural department. We always used to wonder कि यार पैसे लग गए, पैसे तो लगने ही थे, but ऐसा क्यों फीलिंग क्यों आती है ऐसी? You know, even after they are so satisfied with the project, they are creating a legacy for their home, for their family, for everything. So why does this feeling come? And then a question stuck to me that people invest a lot of money, in fact, almost all of their hard-earned money into a building. Maybe a corporate office, maybe a house, maybe a factory, maybe whatever. Now tell me, Ankur, if you invest money in a bank, you expect return?
Correct.
If you invest money in property, you expect a return?
Absolutely yes.
If you invest money in stocks, do you expect a return?
Why not?
So when you invest money in a building, why don't you expect returns from there?
Definitely. As a developer, definitely a developer would certainly expect that returns.
Yes, so I'm not talking about rentals, which a lot of people feel when we talk like this. But what I'm talking about is how do you create high-performing buildings, which is actually like a money-generating machine. And that's what made me write the book, Money Generating Buildings 2.0.
Beautiful.
The simple reason being that I want everybody to read it, use it, and get their building performing well for them through the life of the building. It's not about just the initial stages. It's about through the life of the building. And That's what is fun about it. And when I spoke to my guru, we have a common guru, right? So when I spoke to my guru and told him that this is what I'm doing, his first question was, "Kahan bechega?" I said, I'm not thinking of selling it, I'm thinking of gifting it. He says, no. You should sell it. But kahan bechega? I said, okay, I'll put it on Amazon for everyone. His next question boggled me down. He says, kitne mein bechega? So I said, I'm not trying to make money out of it. He says, but you cannot give it for free. But you have to make it available to everybody. So that's what hit me so strongly, that my guru is telling me to impart this knowledge out and impart it at a cost where everybody can afford to pick it up.
Correct.
And change their lives.
Beautiful.
So that's how Money Generating Buildings 2.0 came about.
Nice. That's super awesome to hear that. So, Rohit, I would just like to understand, before we dive into the real conversation, I would like to understand that what is the value which a developer can expect out of this conversation in 2-3 lines?
Okay, so we did a apartment scheme in Kota which won the national award.
Beautiful.
This apartment scheme is not approved by the authorities. It is approved by the court. So the changes that we were trying to do to the land and the way we were trying to develop it out, and the developer was so much in favor of what we were doing. He was 100% aligned, because his thought and my thought were same, that we have to deliver value to the end user. Now, if you look at the market, 95% people, 95% and probably more people in the world would say developers बना के बेच के निकल जाते हैं.
Correct.
And if developers pick this one line and start adding value to their customers' lives, I'm not saying they don't, they do, a lot of them do. I've seen a lot of them who do.
Yes.
But if they start adding so much more value to their customers' life through the life of the customer, through the life cycle of the customer till the end, so every day if the customer who's bought a apartment from the developer thanks him, saying ki I'm so glad I bought this place.
Correct.
I'm so glad I bought this place because I'm getting this benefit, this benefit, this benefit, this benefit. So it's not about just the features that are there in the scheme. It is more of how comfortable is it for me? How much
Yes.
energy is it saving for me?
Yes.
Right? The materials, are they needing heavy maintenance?
Yes.
Or are they so easy to maintain that my life is so simple?
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
So when I'm just talking about this one change, if that can occur, the whole trajectory of the Indian developer system and the whole trajectory of India will change.
The whole ecosystem
The
is
whole
what
ecosystem is what will
Awesome.
change so
Awesome.
drastically.
Awesome. So, Rohit, you often said in your book as well that sell faster, sell authentic, sell better. What exactly does it really means in today's scenario for a real estate developer?
Okay. I'll open up a secret to you.
Yeah.
The sequence is sell faster,
Okay.
sell authentic,
Okay.
sell better. I have kept this sequence because this is what people like to hear.
Yes.
The reality is sell better, then sell authentic, and then sell faster.
Wow.
Because when you sell a better product, you are definitely going to be more authentic about it. And when you're more authentic about it, maybe not in the first project, maybe not in the second project, but by the third project onwards, your customers become your marketeers. And that is what we have also learned through our profession. 99.99% work that comes to us is through reference.
Wow.
Purely through reference. We are not generating leads, cold calls, nothing like that. And we have realized that each of our client is our marketer for life.
Wow.
And that's what we acknowledge them for and thank them for. So imagine when, as a developer, you're selling, let's say, 100 apartments to 100 people, 100 families. What if each of those 100 families, each member, let's say even if there are 3 members in a family, what if 300 people, you're not selling a building, you're creating 300 marketeers.
Wow.
If that mindset changes, and if that is the way developers start working in this country, I mean, you can guess where we'll go.
Awesome. Awesome. That's a very expanded viewpoint, what you're talking at. And I'm having goosebumps while I'm listening it, because Just couple of days back, I was in Bangalore and I was reading a hoarding, 80,000 families associated with that developer. Would not like to name it, but I'm thinking that imagine if there are 3 people in their family, if if they would have operated, or
Yeah,
if and I'm sure they must have operated from that viewpoint. That's why they were able to
absolutely.
connect that number of families. But I'm sure if every new developer or every developer who's there in this industry for last 10-20 years probably, and if they start operating from that mindset of having 3 to 4 marketeers within the
Correct.
family,
Correct.
they would definitely never struggle to sell it at a less price and even sell faster.
Yes.
For sure.
So the focus is not selling apartments. The focus is creating marketeers
Wow.
for life. And that is the best part.
That's a huge expanded viewpoint.
And
I would
imagine
say.
your marketeers are paying you
Yes.
to become your marketeers rather than you
Awesome.
hiring somebody to market
Awesome.
for you.
Awesome. So Rohit, I would like to understand that how has your journey as an architect shaped your understanding of what truly sells in real estate?
Okay. So, me and my wife, we met at college in Sept, Ahmedabad, and we had the finest of gurus over there
Wow.
who pumped architecture into us and interior design into us so strongly. We actually, when we walked out of college, we used to just joke around saying, इन्होंने ना हमको पुजारी बना दिया है, अब जिंदगी भर हम पूजा करते रहेंगे इस फील्ड का. In fact, I'll let another secret out. When I met my wife, then girlfriend, the first thing I told her was, "Listen, I'm already married." So she said, "What?" I said, "I'm married to architecture. You are my second wife, and you'll always be." So she said, "That's okay with me. I'm
Nice.
happy that way."
Nice.
So that's how we started off together. And so once we completed college, got into real world working, I saw malpractices happening right in front of my eyes. I saw people cheating in this profession, which we were taught not and never to do. I saw how money was being exchanged. I saw money flowing right in front of my eyes. I did not participate in that. I was told to, I did not. I never do. And I saw the bad side of it, which accentuated with the fact that we had been taught by those level of gurus who had worked for De Cobb and Louis Kahn and people like that. So those gurus had taught us. And then seeing this, it was like a drastic change, which told me, see, this is what you've learned. This is where you don't have to go.
Correct.
And this thing changed something so strongly. Number one. Number two, when we started off with our own practice around 24 years back, at that time, there was no one in my wife's family or my family who would say, okay, take this project and do it for us. Her family is of doctors, my family is of engineers and, other professionals. So we had to crack the egg open ourselves. And when we got the first project, we decided that from now on, the only way to get projects is through this guy. This guy who's giving us this project needs to be satisfied to a limit that he says कि मैं ना इनकी ज़िंदगी change कर दूँगा, इन्होंने अभी काम start किया, I am not going to let them fall again.
Wow.
That is where the first marketeer was born. And thereafter, we said this thought we have to keep
Alive.
very alive, we have to keep strong, and we have to do everything we do on this basis. Slowly, this started multiplying, this started expanding, and we said, okay, we are getting good work, we are getting, not good work, I would say small work, but good enough to sustain. I don't need to do a job anymore, she doesn't need to do a job anymore, and we can run our small office and with 2-3 of us together. And we said, what next? I mean, this is good, we are getting referrals. What next? What is our USP? Why would people come to us? There are so many people who are much bigger and much better than us. So we sat down, we brainstormed, and we decided on 3 things that we said we will never ever change in our practice. The first thing was no drawings will ever get delayed, because we saw this is what most of the people were doing. Most of the clients we met at that time would say that अरे मेरे पुराने architects तो drawing ही नहीं आती थी, I don't want to work with him anymore. And I said, this is such a bad way to leave an architect whom
Yes.
you are satisfied with. And we saw this guy is not his marketer. In fact, he's marketing in the negative sense.
Correct.
So this is the first thing we created. The second thing we created was that design quality will be flawless. If we are not satisfied, we don't send it across. The third thing was never ever take even a rupee of commission from any vendor or any supplier, because they are your partners.
Correct.
They are the ones who will make it successful,
True.
right? So the client is on one side, he is paying you, you take what you want from him. The vendors on the other side are your support system who are creating and giving interesting stuff, interesting material, getting things solved, doing all the works. How dare you charge from them? Because I mean, they are the people who are your support system. And imagine, okay, let's give a reverse example. Let's say I start charging from them. You know, do you think they'll supply me with the right material? Or I'll have to sell material which is second, third grade? Because I'm charging from him, he's got leftover dump at his place. He'll tell me, "Yeah, Rohit, isko nikalo.
Correct.
This needs to be sold." You know.
True.
So imagine this small system changes the mindset of the architect, of the client,
Yes.
because eventually he knows he's not a fool,
Yeah.
and the vendor, because rather than supplying good high quality material, he's now ready to just throw anything away because he knows, yeah, I have to get rid of this,
Correct.
and this is my source because he's charging me for that.
Correct.
Right. So these things combined, we said now we create this system of everything that we do is based on these three things, and these will not change.
Beautiful.
And it's been 24 years, these have not changed. We are so happy about it, and we have all our clients as marketeers.
Very nice.
And one day, I think around 7 years back, pre-COVID, I told Apeksha, आज के बाद ना हमको अब काम की कमी कभी नहीं होने वाली. And she said, what's wrong with you? I said, what's wrong with me is that you tell me what's wrong with me. So she said, you've created huge amount of marketeers for yourself. You said that. And
Yes.
so she knew, and we were both so comfortable. And we said, now is the time to start focusing on really much more good work and start changing lives. So we systemized our entire practice in 2016-17, got it perfected by 2019. After COVID, we started running it very, very smoothly. And now, in fact, we are teaching other architects to do that.
Wow, that's nice.
It's like, yeah, it was, so that's also another brilliant story, you know. One day, I was talking to a friend, I said, जब मैं retire होऊंगा ना, मैं ये सारे systems ना colleges में जाके पढ़ाऊंगा. I will teach students that how to systemize your business.
Yes.
Starbucks works like that.
Yeah.
McDonald's works like that.
Yeah.
The whole world works like that. We are not taught systems. And that is true, and that is right, because you should be taught systems. You should learn systems later in life. When you're in college, you should learn architecture. I mean, that is what is more important. So this friend of mine, he's a good friend from Mumbai. He was sitting with me and he laughed. He said, "Tu kab tak jeene wala hai? Are you going to live till your retirement?" I said, "Oh shit, no, I don't know."
Exactly.
So he said, "Start today."
Exactly.
And that's when we started promoting this and helping students, helping people who want to learn on this, and started telling them how to go ahead and do it.
Very nice.
So that's been our journey so far, and so far so good.
Awesome.
And like I said, 99.9% marketeers, free marketeers, who are there to make sure that you sustain and you grow. What more can you ask for?
So Rohit, let's assume a developer has bought his land. Now, how does your role starts from the design from there?
No. The role doesn't start from there.
Then?
So initially what used to happen was exactly this. The developer would buy a land, come to us and tell us that, okay, let's start designing on this.
Okay.
But now people who worked with us, they know that they will not buy the land without discussing with us.
Means you're saying they have to consult you before even buying the land.
Absolutely.
Okay. Why so?
Absolutely. So there is one thing which is the legal aspect of the land,
Okay.
which everybody is aware about.
But that the legal guy will check, right?
Exactly. So that the legal guy will check, and that the builder is aware of, and the builder would take care of, the developer would take care of it.
Correct.
The other part is, what does that land bring to you?
Okay.
Okay. I'm talking about what is the quality of soil.
Oh. Is that also important?
Yes.
I
So
would love to understand this in detail after.
I have a friend in the city who started with a budget to make a factory, okay, and his entire budget fell through only in the foundations.
My God.
The land, and now the site stands empty with only the foundations covered, and the rest of the land is full of mud. They could not build ahead because the budgets failed. And that was only because he bought a land which was a little more cheaper on the outskirts, 2 kilometers inside the main road, because that was an area which was not selling much, and it had loose soil. That was a waterlogged area earlier. So the foundations which were assumed by the architect initially would be of a certain size. When they did the soil test after the land was bought, and they checked the compatibility and the load bearing capacities and all, the buildings required foundations of piling and a lot of concreting and stuff, and I'm telling you, the entire budget of the whole factory fell into the foundation only. So that is how important the soil is.
Okay.
So what we do is we tell the developer to first get the soil checked before buying the land.
Okay.
And if the soil is not good, reject it.
Okay.
Just reject it. I mean, there is no point putting so much, funding the foundation for, so much of stuff.
It's like funding the foundation.
It's like funding the foundation. The second thing is, how does the sun react to the land?
Wow.
Okay, so imagine if you have, let's say this is a rectangular land piece, and you have to build some towers across. Okay, now if the sun is moving from here to here, which is how the earth rotates, or it's moving from here to here, depending on how the land is oriented, there is a huge variation in how much it will heat up your building and how much you will have to spend extra to protect it.
Okay.
So the developers we work for, they use this as a selling point. They tell their customer that, look, the way we have positioned the building, the way we have aligned the building, because of this technical sense of sun, is that your electricity bill will be 13% cheaper.
Wow.
Every month for your life.
Correct.
Right.
So now I'm able to relate that money generating building from here. Okay.
Yeah. So this is one of the aspects from there.
I was just wondering, how come a building can generate,
Correct.
money out of it?
Correct. The third thing, very importantly, is to check whether how does the wind react to that land. Okay. So before buying the land, if you can, so there are systems and softwares where you can get, it's called a wind rose, which tells that at that particular location on earth, how does the wind move through the year, through the climate changes. Where does the monsoon wind come from? Where does the summer wind come from? So you want to block out the summer wind. You want to block out the winter wind if it is like our northern hemisphere. But you want to catch the monsoon wind. So when you know what direction it comes from, you could align your building that way, or create devices on the building that way, where the pleasant wind moves through the building, ventilates it, and the hot wind, the cold wind, extra cold wind is blocked.
Wow, that's too deep.
That is number one. The worst part for builders, for developers especially. Suppose the wind blows in a pattern where there is a stink zone close by.
Yes.
Right? So I have a friend in Jaipur who owns a school, and his biggest problem is that there's a sewage treatment plant around a kilometer away, and every summer his school is full of stink because the wind moves in that direction.
Oh, that's so bad.
And there are solutions to everything. So you can control wind also in certain aspects. You can use it through landscape, you can use it through vegetation, trees, building alignments, orientation. So if the land is already bought and you have a problem, there is a way to solve it. But why get into that? Why not procure the land in a manner? So my recommendation to all developers is, first get your land checked by your architect. Let him see if problems like these are not there. And there are multiple features like this. I'm just pointing out 2-3 to you.
Correct.
Where he can not just save himself from these kind of problems, he can use them as USPs to sell to his customers. That, look, I oriented it this way to get to save your money for your life.
Correct.
I oriented the sun this way that you get winter sun into your house.
Correct.
So you just open a window and you have the winter sun right into your living area.
Correct.
You know, so the building is designed that way. That's later. But initially, if the sun is there, you know that how you have to align your building.
Correct. Correct. So, after listening to you, it reminds me of a book called When Business is Love. So I remember it's a must read for every developer, by the way, and that book is on a case study of Haston's brand, which creates matrices, beds, and I was so surprised that they sell a single mattress for $1 million,
Yeah, they do. Oh, I have not heard of
almost close to about 8 crores a
Wow.
single mattress. And now, how do they do that?
it.
They use horse tail as a material in that.
Uh-huh.
It is one of the material, and it helps you to recover from diseases, from all your laziness. जितनी आपकी थकान होगी, आप the moment you lie down on it, and you get a much better quality sleep, and it's proven scientifically.
Wow.
That
Interesting.
research they have done almost in about 150 years. It's the 5th generation now which is taking care of that business, because they're doing it with so much of love. That's the core essence of that
Yeah,
book.
yeah.
So I can feel in your conversation, Rohit, that whenever any developer will truly love their business, they will not just pay attention to that special detailing just while he has to sell or while he has to design, but he has to pay that special attention right from the start when he's just conceiving in his womb.
Absolutely.
I think that's
Absolutely.
something a very big takeaway for me.
Absolutely. In fact, we, what you said rightly, we tell all our friends, clients, everybody that our business is like a marriage. You know, so you have to first make sure your partner is right
Yes.
and he's aligned to your dreams, and you have to be aligned to his dreams, and understand that this end result, this baby, is for the betterment of the client, the customer.
Oh yes. And there are so many families. I mean, like when a developer is building, he's not just building for himself.
He's not.
He's building for so many thousands of people who are going to
Exactly.
come there and who
Exactly.
are going to bless them.
Exactly.
And not just bless or curse, but so many stakeholders who are associated
And their life's earnings is at stake.
at stake.
Absolutely.
Nice. Rohit, you mentioned about an award-winning project. Just dive us in that.
So you're talking about the Kota apartment scheme.
Yes.
This project I told you was not approved by the administrative department.
Okay.
So I'm opening out some secrets to you again. So this piece of land was right next to the lake of Kota. It's called Lakeview Apartments, and there was a competition which was held by the developer, the JV partner of the developer who owned the land, and a few of his friends. So they organized a competition from different architects from Mumbai, from Delhi, from Rajasthan, and the developer was the real developer. The main developer was very focused on having me on board because he knew the concepts we work on, and he did not pitch me in till the competition was over. Once the competition was over, they shortlisted on an architect. They decided this is the final layout that can work on this site, and they discussed with the architect that this is some changes we want and everything. Once that was done, the JV partner told my client, the developer, that look, now is it's final. You were saying you want to also talk to some other architect. You haven't spoken to him yet. He says, yeah, now I'll speak to him. And then he called me one day and he said, Rohit, the design is final. We have finalized an architect. And I said, okay, so tell me, how can I help you in this? So he says, I want a design from you. And shall I send you the design that was made by the other architect? I said, no, that's against my ethics. If I have to design and if it's a competition, I'll do it on my own. So I said, just tell me how many apartments are you achieving per floor? So the land was not too big. It was a compact land, and he said that we are achieving around 6 apartments per floor, 2 at the back, 4 in the front. And I said, wait a minute, you're talking about Lakeview Apartments. You're talking about the apartments facing a lake. Two guys who are going to buy lake view apartments are not going to face the lake. They're going to face the backside of the building. I mean, what kind of a layout is this? He just challenged me at that time. He said, if you can get 6 apartments, all of them lake facing, the project is yours.
Wow.
And we started off, we started designing. We managed to get 6 apartments, all lake facing, on each floor. And he was shocked beyond belief. And the entire team, his JV partner and other friends who had hired other architects, they told him, "Yaar, why didn't you get this guy pehle? We could have finished it off. We took like 2 months to do this." But the point was that it was not just how we did it. That was very simple. I mean, it was a no-brainer because I told my team that, look, 4 apartments in front, 2 at the back, which means there is a huge corridor, which is wasting space. If you take away that corridor and you squeeze the apartments a bit because you have area at the back, and if you create those strips of apartments, you can easily manage, and we managed it very easily.
Correct.
Right? The only thing we did was we did not have a connection between the two blocks, the both sides, because that corridor would have taken up space again.
Correct.
So rather than doing that, we made twin towers. We stuck them together with an expansion joint in the middle, with their own staircase, with their own elevator. So all we did was we had an extra elevator and an extra staircase, 5 staircase. So those 2 things managed all the apartments. I mean, I said, if I am going to buy an apartment facing the lake, if I am going to buy something in that place, I needed to face the lake. Otherwise, what's the point? So that was one part of it. The second part of it was that there was a dilapidated Haveli in that block, which was, so the owner of the land, what he had done was he had rented out and sold out some of the Haveli part, which was opening to the backside of the land. And those people were running their businesses over there. So when we came to the design conclusion, we told our client that, look, this is the top part which we are doing, but the bottom part, we are not going to kick these people away. That's unethical. I mean, they have been living there and working there.
Yes.
So my client, he said that, let me try to talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I think you shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
They deserve to be there where they are.
True.
So what we did was, we said, let's take our main vehicular entry from the backside.
Wow.
And the backside was, the front and the back was around a 10-11 feet sloping land, because here is the lake, then there is the road, the land is over here, and the land slopes down at the back, and there's a road at the back.
Okay.
So we said, let's cut this part up only. Okay. The road is there. We cut up a section through we clear that part up without damaging the lake or the road front or anything, because I don't want the lake to push into the land, because it's just a road in the middle.
Yes.
And have the vehicle entry go there, have the pedestrian entry on top, so, and have the apartment scheme above, which means the entire land is going to have a podium, an RCC casted platform, which is illegal, because what you need to do is you need to leave setbacks and you need to build. So what we said, let's see what we can do. We designed it in a manner that all these 17 shops at the back, each of them get the same area, but now they get a double height space. Because if the road in front is here and the land at the back is at 11 feet below, and if I make my plinth 7 feet up, which I wanted from the road, so that people on the podium see the lake, they don't see the vehicles, they don't see the movement over there. So when we did this, when we designed it like that, I get a 17 feet height inside around that, which I can give them free mezzanine areas.
Yes.
So that would help them to understand, okay, this is a project we need to all work together in.
Correct.
And they were then ready to move out and allow us to build it and then move back in. But then the problem came when we went to the authorities, and the authorities said, you cannot build like this.
Oh.
You are creating a commercial space. And we tried to explain them that, look, they were there right from the beginning.
Yes.
And we are taking this as the ground level. They said, but we are entering from there. I said, this is the basement. So there were a lot of discussions that went about there. But they said that, no, you chop this whole thing off, throw them away. You create your building from the ground level or from the back or front, whatever you want to, we don't care. But you can then follow the bylaws and do that. And we were very strict on this, that we will follow all the bylaws. There'll be no illegal projection, there'll be no illegal covering, nothing whatsoever. All we wanted was that the ground floor from the front should have a slab cast through the land, so they can get housed. We have basement parkings, and the ground floor we leave free as a podium for people, as if that was the ground floor. So we were also told that you will tomorrow cover this up. You're casting this, but you're going to cover it up. We said we'll give it in writing. The developer was so eager to get this done, because this was once of a kind project, that comes around like that. So he said, I'll give you whatever you want in writing. I will not cover anything. The ground floor podium is all swimming pool, yoga, terraces, gym, all those areas. And then we have a stilt area, and then we build the building on top. He said, just imagine that we had the ground here and we're building from there. So we're going to follow all the bylaws here. The lower part we're just using as 17 feet as multi-level parking, and those shops that we want to give out to them. Finally, the matter delayed and kept moving on, and then it went to court. My client warned hands-on in the court. The court said, "ये तो लोगों का भला कर रहा है. What's happening?" He said, "You have our permission. You go ahead and do it."
Nice.
So this is an example of a land not being analyzed initially.
Yeah.
He had already done the JV.
Yes.
He had already come to us with this, and in fact, he came to us when the designs were already made by some other people. So at that stage, we tried to plant the maximum we could. We tried to respond to the city context. I mean, you cannot just isolate and build a building in a complex. You have to respond to the city.
Yes.
I mean, if you see the world's best architects like Zaha Hadid and stuff, they would create their buildings giving open space to the public.
Yes.
Changing the landscape, changing the mindset of people around,
Yes.
and allowing them to use that. Now, these guys who were a trouble to the original owner, who was not able to tie up with any developer, because the developer would say, throw these guys out, then you come to me. Who were a trouble are now our marketeers.
Yes.
These guys have now got double the space, free of cost, at a time gap of 10-11 months.
Yes.
Because we did not start anything till we got approval. That was, we were very sure, because we did not want that if we do something and then this gets stuck and those guys are stuck and then we are stuck. No. We said, let it go on as it is going on. Once we get the approval, once we got from court, it went there, and then the thing started, and we were in a rush to finish it, because we did not want anyone to suffer, for that matter. And that building now stands as a landmark project over there.
Wow.
And and we've got apartments. Like my client, he's so happy with this. He says, I've made 45 apartments, out of which 20 are penthouses.
Wow.
Because the building is shaped in a manner, it's not like a box. If you see it, it's like it's stepping in. And those terraces become party areas, because you're facing the lake. You need those kind of.
Correct.
I mean, any apartment facing a lake should have good open spaces to stand out and look across. So it has that kind of, it's been designed in that manner.
Very nice.
So that's the story.
Awesome. How can you, Rohit, truly help a developer to generate money through your buildings?
Okay, that's getting more deeper into it.
Yes.
So we have created a framework called Profit Framework, which we have broken to pro.fit. Okay.
Profit.
Okay.
Nice.
So this framework, what it does is, there are 7 dimensions to this framework, which, if followed in the right manner.
Is this mentioned in the book?
This is not part of the book. This is, if followed in the right manner, can generate huge amount of revenue for the developer. And again, I'm talking about not just from the first single project. I'm talking about a sequence of projects that he's going to undertake later on. So number 1, it creates a building which is flawless.
Okay.
Number 2, it creates huge marketeers who are your customers. Number 3 is the reason why they will become huge marketeers, which is, if your building is, let's say, least maintenance, or let's say close to zero maintenance. Everything needs maintenance, we all know that. But what if the selection of materials, selection of the whole scheme, the selection of the way the whole services are planned is done in a manner that there is hardly any maintenance later on through the life of the building. So I spoke to a company which makes paints, and They said, sir, we specially take up buildings which are 40 storied, 50 storied. I said, why do you do something like that? He said, who's going to paint it later again? I mean, you can't tie a scaffolding 50 story again and paint the whole
Correct.
building. I mean, you tell me, if you have you seen buildings all over the world which are 50 storied, 60 storied, more than 100 storied, which are painted again? Because you cannot tie that scaffolding again. You do it
Yes.
once. So he said,
Yes.
our paint lasts a lifetime.
Wow.
That's why we are so special. That's why we work like that. And they are one of our prime vendors for our projects. You know,
Nice.
because you don't want to paint the building again. I mean,
Yes.
when there is rain, it should wash the building clean,
Correct.
not create dampness.
Correct.
So there is a whole system. This whole framework that I'm talking about has 7 dimensions, where we talk about not just these 3 parts. We talk about fit construction, where we have developed our own techniques of creating walls, our own techniques of creating doors, our own technique of creating the way the pipelines will move, right?
Nice.
So in a manner that later on in that building, maintenance is not an issue.
Wow. So what are those 7 facets of this profit framework so called developed by you?
Okay, so this is almost like, hand holding the developer through the whole process.
Okay.
The first is supposed to be fit land procurement.
Okay.
Your land procurement has to be right, which we talked about
Yes.
a lot,
It's
right?
truly important.
Right. The second is fit design. The design should be a perfect fit, matching to the sun, wind, and what I told you about.
Solar
Right, the
orientation.
solar orientations, the climate of the local topography, and everything. The third is the fit marketing of the client, of the developer to his client.
Okay.
So while we are doing this 2 things, while the design is happening and the building is being constructed, we are working on the third element with the developer, telling him that, look, when you market, you talk about these things which we have created for you, which your customer is going to benefit through his life.
Yes.
So fit marketing is very important.
So converting that architecture into
Verbalizing it,
substantial verbalization of USPs,
right?
so that they can market it well. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes. So they have their own marketing scheme. They have everything. We are not doing anything over there.
Yes.
We are giving them a few more tips that, look, this is what you should talk about, because your building, which is going to be built in this place, is having these benefits.
Correct.
So like I told
Correct.
you, 13% more saving in electrical cost. We could tell them
Correct.
that, okay, you can offer zero maintenance cost from the customer for the next 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Or the next 8 years, because your building will not need it, because of the way it's designed, because of the way the products that are being used, the cables, the piping, the tap, sanitary ware, everything, the way it's being used, the way we are suggesting, you can offer this without winking an eye. You can tell them that this is what will happen. The next one is fit execution.
Okay.
So that's where supervision plays a major role.
Yes.
Nowadays in this industry, people have shifted to PMCs. Very good. I mean, it should evolve. That's fine. But we make sure, even if there is a PMC, we personally or our team member would go to site and check that the execution is done absolutely as per what is there in the drawings. In fact, the people we work with have clearly told all the contractors and vendors that, look, if it is not in drawing, it is not to be done. If it is in drawing, it has to be done like that only. So we have this policy that you do not give any verbal instruction at all. Everything, each and everything is put on paper, on a drawing, mentioned and sent, that there is a written communication as to how it has to be executed. And that's what helps making it flawless. Right? So execution is very important. We educate the developer also on this during the process of construction. Why we do this, how it's going to affect him, how it's going to add to the cost or reduce the cost, and what it is going to, how it's going to play a role at the long term when it's building your reputation through your series of projects.
Yes.
So people would say that, okay, this builder builds this way, and that is more important than saying that this builder gives a swimming pool or a laundromat or a gym, because these things are what matters.
Absolutely.
We also talk to the customer about fit customer, which means you choose your customer. The developer should choose what kind of people are going to inhabit his place.
Absolutely, yes.
You know, it's like we choose our customers, that the kind of people we should work with. So, so I'm not negating anybody or anything like that. What I'm saying is there are millions and millions of clients and there are millions and millions of architects. You are not meant for everybody. They are not meant for you, most of them, right? They're meant for somebody else.
Correct.
So they should go there, we should get ours. There's enough work for anybody and
Correct.
everybody in the world.
Correct.
And similarly, for a developer, there are huge amount of customers waiting in line for you, searching for you. Don't just sell to the first guy who comes with a bag of money.
True.
If the customer is not fit, just say, sorry, you could go there, you could go to that developer, you could go elsewhere. Because choosing the fit customer is, I think, one of the most critical, because you are selecting your marketing team,
Wow.
right?
And in the end, what I always, even I say this to a developer, that you are not in the business, just in the business of building homes, but rather you in the business of building a strong community.
Absolutely.
So imagine if there are few members who are not aligning to that community values,
Absolutely.
then that means there's something which is missing.
Absolutely.
So
And I
totally
remember
agree.
when I was studying, or I think just after I graduated, in Saket, Select City Walk had come up. And it was the
Yes.
first time when a mall announced, do not come to buy from us. We are selecting our customers,
Wow.
right? We will send you a letter. We will invite you for coming. If you don't come, then we'll invite somebody else. Select City Walk, or I think one of these malls in Saket,
Okay.
they had done this,
Okay.
where they had said that we will invite our customers. You are not allowed to come and just offer us money and buy.
Okay.
It's something like that, you know.
Nice.
So we would sit with the developer and create his fit customer statement, and the ads that he creates, his marketing team creates, we would discuss with him and say, okay, this is not attracting your customer, or this is, you need to tweak this to attract your customer more.
Correct.
So that is one aspect of the 7 dimensions where fit customer is supposed to be taken care of.
Yes.
And the rest you can actually say, I'm really sorry, but please go elsewhere.
Awesome.
The first one is fit land procurement.
Mm-hmm.
The second was fit design. How do you design as per the climate and everything? The third was fit construction. How do you start construction? What do you take care of? So it's got a lot to do with green buildings and, you know, how do you save the existing fertile land? How do you replant it again? Stuff like that. The fourth one is fit execution. Once you've started the construction, how do you go ahead and execute it? The fifth is fit marketing. Now that the execution is happening, how do you start marketing to your customer, right? Then is the fit customer. The last one, the seventh one, is fit paperwork.
Nice.
Now, paperwork is definitely part of the legal agreement and the compliances and everything which any developer does. What we would like to tell the developer and ask him to add into the paperwork is to educate the buyer, the end customer, through that paperwork as to how he needs to maintain his apartment. How does he need to take care of certain things? How does he need to be made sure that these are the SOPs to be followed to take care of what materials we have given or gifted you in your apartment. You know, if there is a particular kind of stone, we tell him that, look, use these chemicals only, right? For your betterment, because once the flat is sold, once the apartment is sold,
Correct.
it's the responsibility of the customer to maintain it, right? The developer takes care of the overall overbeing, you know, but if there's something spoiled or something goes bad or the paint is not right, you know, something gets crashed, then it's the individual landowner, the owner who has to take care of it. So we would want a proper paperwork, a list of SOPs to be given along with the agreements, guiding the customer that, look, if you follow this, this is going to become a money generating building for you. And money generating in one way is money saved is money earned. So if you're not splurging money on renovations, on redoing things, on, you know, fire breakages and on any kind of repair and damage, you are saving money.
Yes.
And you're saving a lot of peace of mind, which is, I think, more important than any framework. So,
Awesome.
so these 7 things are part of our protocol, which we work with, and we actually educate the developer. I think our core focus is to educate the developer on these things, apart from just designing a building.
Nice. How does this framework truly transforms a developer workflow?
Okay, so if I answer in a single line,
Yes.
it brings order to chaos.
Nice.
Okay, so usually developers chase execution speed.
Correct.
They want to turn around faster.
Mm-hmm.
And what we teach them, or teaching is not the right word, what we
Educate them.
what we impart from our side is to not follow execution speed, but to follow alignment. And if you see all the 7 frameworks, when you have everything fit, and when all the 7 parameters are fit, everything works together in alignment. And we are in alignment, the developer is in alignment, delays drop,
Yes.
and the reputation of the developer, it exceeds.
Certainly.
And
yes.
the whole thing, the whole conglomeration becomes a consistent story.
Yes.
And when you have a consistent story, is when people start noticing you, your customer starts noticing you, and that's when brand reputation builds.
Yeah, the trust elevates.
The trust elevates.
Simple in one word,
Yeah.
I think.
So I heard somewhere a very interesting fact. Somebody told me, do you know why McDonald's is such a big success? So McDonald's sells, I mean, it's fast food, it's junk finally. But why is it so successful? And the answer I got was that when you put a burger in your mouth, even before you're putting the burger in your mouth, your mind tells you what the taste will be.
Yes.
It's so when you bite the burger, it fits your expectation.
Wow, that's so deep.
Yes, so it fits your expectation. So when you become a brand, when you tell a consistent story, when you as a developer are giving the same benefits to your customers over 1, 2, 3 projects, your new customer always relates and says, this is what I'm going to get.
Yes.
The expectations match. And I'm giving a very bad fast food example, but if you do something good and if you do outstanding work and you take care of your customer, your brand reputation is bound to soar.
Yes. Yes.
So following the framework and creating this brand reputation is what takes it to the next level.
Nice. If every builder who's listening to this podcast has to take one action, what would it be?
Okay, so I think the one action should be to remove architectural design from a cost center to a profit multiplier.
Wow.
This is one mindset change that if they do after listening to this, the results we've already spoken about. Yeah, they will building a brand reputation, going ahead and making your customers your marketeer, everything falls in place.
Nice.
So architecture is supposed to be a profit multiplier. So when people even ask us about our fees, we say कि हमारी फीस तो फ्री है, because उससे ज़्यादा आपको रिजल्ट अगर नहीं मिले तो हमारा काम करना बेकार है, right? And on top of that, the next first step that they should take is that before buying any land, they should consult their architect and ask him to do a thorough study of that piece of land as to whether it fits into these parameters, these kind of systems, and so it's not a problem for them later on, or not a headache for them later on, that they need to try to manage things rather than it should all come out from design and concept.
Yes.
That's
Nice. Great. Thank you so much, Rohit, for bringing in so much of light, so much of wisdom, so much of golden nuggets out of your especially pro-fit framework, which will certainly help developers to build money-generating buildings, not just for themselves, but it's going to help their consumers in the long run to create a legacy of marketeers and not just buyers.
Absolutely.
So thank you so much once again from the bottom of my heart, and you came out all the way and you took out time. It's truly an honor to have you here, and I'm sure that we will keep having such sessions with you where you keep bringing some more light for our developer community. And thank you so much once again.
You're welcome, Ankur. Thank you so much for
Awesome.
having me here.
Awesome.